Hey, it's Dr. Nicole,
It's Coach Kofia.
And it's Dion. Welcome to Opportunities Over Obstacles.
a podcast where we discuss lessons in motherhood.
Life and business.
Hey,
Eee.
what's up, ladies?
What's
Hey,
up?
hey,
What's
hey.
up? How goes it?
I love the
Kofia
hat.
giving us all kinds of
Yes.
fly today. Red lip, sheer top, hat.
And
You
it's deep because of what we
Ooh,
are
Mm,
right. It
exemplifying.
totally
Yes.
talks about what we're talking about today.
yes. So where do we start? We were talking about how you show up and your energy and your appearance. So I guess the question to kick everything off is like judging a book by its cover. Is that like actually a thing? Is it good to judge a book by its cover? Do appearances matter?
Mm-hmm.
Your
Yes.
style, your clothes, like
Yes.
okay.
Yes,
Kofia
look.
say
Absolutely.
yes.
Absolutely. It matters. It makes a difference. Whether we admit to it or not, it makes a huge difference in someone like being more receptive to whatever it is that you have to say. They can't get past the outward, then they're not going to listen to what's inside. That's why.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
But what
why do
about the
people
person who
think
says, go
who
ahead.
says what?
What about the person who says, well, you shouldn't judge a book or that doesn't matter or you should see me for me? That's the other one too. Is like, see me.
That's
It's
funny.
delusional. And when you said earlier, like when people are like, should we judge? It's not about should, it's about what is. This
Hmm.
is,
Mm,
and people know that because I was thinking this yesterday. I saw a guy with his pants sagging. And I'm like, no, that's a deliberate choice. Like guys who sag, they choose to do that. It portrays an image. People who wear suits, it portrays something else. Like everyone knows that what they wear is part of how they're going. They might not know it deeply, but like we
Yeah.
choose things because it's an expression of something
yes.
that people are going to
Mm,
see.
yep. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Totally agree with it when you choose something because it is an expression. And it's almost like what we said, well, what I say in sales, like you're selling something already. Like you're
Mm,
already selling something. It's just a matter
Hmm.
of being intentional about it. And part of that is the packaging. Like what does the package show up in? And is it something that's more appealing? Not because because that's who you are, right? Because you know that you are appealing, you know that you're valuable. And when you know that, you operate from it, like you pick certain things that make you feel in tune with you knowing that you are valuable. And if you don't pick certain things, what you're saying, whether you realize it or not, is you don't value it.
Mm,
yeah, yeah. And
yeah.
you can talk around it all you want. You could talk about how people shouldn't, but we all engage it. Like nobody buys stuff that's supposed to be high quality that has low quality packaging. That's why
Ooh,
packaging is such right. Like you don't go into a nice department store and then you expect to get a paper bag.
come
They put your
on.
stuff in a paper
Yes.
bag when
The
you walk out.
packaging. Yes. It's the packaging.
And if the box is all broken down, I want a discount because this looks raggedy.
Yes.
Like, I don't care if nothing is wrong with what's inside. If the box is messed up, why is it coming to
Ooh.
me this way?
I was at a barbecue the other day and we were talking about like good like Jamaican food in the city or
Mm.
soul food or something. And people were talking about like this one spot in like Southwest Philly, and everybody was like, yeah, their food is good, but it's like a hole in the wall in the neighborhood. Like nobody wants to come inside
Hmm.
if it's offensive or it's a turnoff or
Yeah.
you gotta attract people. Like we're just humanly or naturally visual creatures, right?
Right.
Yes.
So like what's wrong with the little, and I'm not saying you have to be like designer down. Like I love a good deal. I shop at Target for the
Tarjay.
Target for the
Hmm.
kids, and
Yep.
but we had this conversation previously of like, and Kofi was clowning me because I was like, my kids need to come out the house a certain type of way. Like I will let you express yourself, but like
but not in that.
you can't be having lint in your hair. We went to the
Yellow teeth.
yellow teeth. Like me and
Mm-mm.
Avery went to the I took her with me to the nail shop and I looked over and she had like a white ring around her lips. And I was like, did you put Vaseline on your lips? And she was like, well, what's wrong with my face? I'm like, your face is beautiful. And she says all the time, Mom, like beauty comes from the inside. I'm like, I understand that, but I can't look at
You
you
like,
when you
look, my
looking,
flower child. Yeah.
you giving Dave Chappelle around the mouth.
Crackhead Dave Chappelle.
I was
What was
like,
that
come here,
guy's name?
girl.
Yeah.
Was it
Oh,
Tyrone?
Yeah.
Is it Tyrone? Yeah, yeah.
I don't know.
So I
My
mean,
girls are like that. Yeah. They don't notice. I'm like, y'all don't notice that it's dry, and I'm running
right.
behind them. Put this on your lips.
They hate it, and I'm outside the school. I know tomorrow when they start school, I'm be outside with the little Blistex. I have lotion my child's legs. Like you're not walking around like Ashy Larry. Like I get that you want to color your hair or be fashionable, and I love that they want to express themselves through fashion. But I'm like basic hygiene and grooming and making sure your clothes are, clean and like they're just it's a baseline. Certain
Yeah,
things are a baseline. Yeah.
totally agree.
So, what does it say to you then when someone doesn't have that? Because you're distinguishing expression and whatever your personal, preference style versus the overall, like the basic grooming. So, when you see someone who's not groomed or doesn't have hygiene, what does that say to you?
Well, okay, so if I'm just seeing someone for the first time, I don't want to assume the worst. So maybe I'm like, okay, you have a bad day. But like there's someone in particular, I can't even say the relationship because
Just say there's someone in particular.
it's someone in
Right.
my professional circle who is
She done went deeper
known,
than that.
I had to say professional circle because that's who is known for being not so neat. And I think the consensus is, and people have talked about this person, like, yeah, they don't really care about themselves. Like, it's kind of like a whatever
Mm.
kind of attitude. Like, when you are consistently showing up, like, I have my bad days. I don't always walk out the house with makeup on, or, I mean, I don't do slippers and bonnets. And
Oh no,
maybe that's
Lord
That's a
another
no.
topic.
basic grooming. That's sorry.
What's that?
That is
That's basic
sad.
grooming. Like you shouldn't be
Yeah.
outside. Like the bonnet is
Right.
made for the bed. It's
Right.
B.
Versus a
Mm.
It start
head
with
wrap.
B.
Right.
It's B for bed. You
And
sleep.
these big chef ones, what? I don't.
The huge,
You
okay,
don't
I
wear
have
that.
one of those, but that was by accident. It's a long
But
story.
outside, you don't wear it outside, Dion.
No, I
No,
have worn like head wraps. I used to love head
Yeah.
wraps. Yeah. Yeah.
that's
In
different.
my
You can make those look different. Like it's a
But that's not a fashion statement.
right. It's not because you need to. I don't know. It's not because it's not groomed. It's because you're deciding to wear an accessory
Yeah.
Mm, mm.
versus.
There's people saying it's anti-black to say that people shouldn't be outside with pajama slippers and bonnets. I
I'm
said,
anti-black then.
No.
yeah, you like
When you
sign me up for the class.
I don't recall, at least as a child, I don't recall seeing any of the ladies in my neighborhood on my block. They might come to the door and it's a quick peek out, but that was it. And even my mom would be like, "Don't go to the door with your scarf on. Like, take your scarf off when you
Yes,
answer the door."
yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm,
So it is. Then you said the consensus is this person doesn't feel good about themselves.
Mhm.
yeah.
And people, and I've had conversations with this person around, not to be morbid, but like when our time comes and insurance and stuff, and the response was, "Yeah, I don't really see myself living past 65." And I was like when I so Kofia mentioned it before we started recording that like there's a deeper issue with people
Oh
Mm.
yeah.
when someone
Yeah.
is chronically,
Yeah.
yeah, that was just heartbreaking.
I
Um,
remember this like when I switched over from like knowing what my worth is and understanding that that plays a part in like every area of my life, right?
Mm.
And I think the
mhm.
first like noticeable thing that I started to pay attention to was like how I dressed because I literally when I tell y'all it didn't matter what I wore like it
I
really
can't
didn't matter.
imagine.
Mhm.
It didn't matter at all.
I can't imagine
You was
Sophia
coming
because
out with the bonnet. You
Listen,
had crust in your eyes. You had
not
rollers.
bonnet. I don't know if it was ever a bonnet, but it was just like
a sweat with
wrinkled,
a ring.
sweats don't fit, got holes, like whatever, not matching. Like it was just whatever. I would preface it like I just want to be comfortable. And it's like, bruh, you could have put some
Mm.
kind of effort into being comfortable. And so
You
I
just
think
rolled out of bed.
You
Lillard
like,
rolled out of bed and then grabbed two things or whatever, And I think once I really started to understand that my worth is like I get to pick what I look like. I get to pick like there's a way that I can feel that I like I can
mm.
feel worthy based on what I started to wear. And I was literally it switched and I was in the office and everybody would just be like, dang, are you the boss?
Ooh,
Like who?
yes.
Like who? What you always dressed up? Like you all like and because I really liked the professional look, and I still do.
Hmm.
One of the
Hmm.
things that I feel like in my circles that, or even that I work with, like one of the characteristics they describe me as is professional, and it's not just at work. It's like I really like looking like it makes me feel so good. But I remember there was a time where I didn't care, and it looked like I didn't care.
Yeah,
And
like
so
it wasn't a secret.
no. And I was probably the only one who didn't realize that it was something deeper. And it was really
Mm.
I didn't have a true sense of value for myself. And now it's like, dude, baby, I like looking good.
Baby.
Or I'll go to like walk my friends be like, are you going to Walmart? I'm like, yes, but you all dressed up. Like,
Yes.
well, why not? Like, if I'm not gonna dress up for me, like, what would be another reason? Like
Right.
Yes,
it's
Right.
me
yes.
first. I get to get dressed for me first. And then everybody else is a bonus to that. You get to be a part of it.
Yeah. I think a lot of people feel like putting time and effort into your appearance means that you're dressing to impress somebody else. I don't
Mm.
know. I don't know
So
if a
they
lot of people
still
make that
worried though
connection.
about they're still worried about other people because they're worried
Right.
somebody's going to say
Right.
that I'm dressing for somebody else.
But like,
It's
I
not
mhm.
no. I was gonna say if somebody's saying that, then they are a person who don't that's their thoughts about what they would get dressed up for.
Right.
Because they haven't really figured out that you can literally do things for yourself. Like you can
Mm.
that's they haven't truly grasped the self-love part of it. Like where you
Right.
love yourself so much that you do good things just for you because of how it makes you feel.
You feel.
And
Yes,
it's
yes.
something about looking in the mirror, and I get it. Like sometimes, and I'm so gonna miss my job, y'all, because I'm wearing a tank top and some tights with the mesh like
Mhm.
spots, like cutouts. I'm not gonna be able to wear that at my new job, right? Like I
Right.
love that I can like be comfortable, and I know there are times where you just kind of put on whatever because of how you're feeling, but there is something about looking in the mirror and you're like, I look cute today,
You
or
Mhm.
always
this.
look nice though, Dion. It's not
Yeah.
the clothes, it's I think like what Kofi was saying, the intentionality. Because even
Right.
when you have your sweats, it's not no torn up t-shirt on backwards. Like
I'm a
And you
little
you
didn't throw it
OCD.
together. It was like this
yeah.
color matches this color and this
Really? Y'all
style.
think my coworkers say the same thing? My one coworker's like, "You never have a bad day," and I'm in there wearing like tight sneakers, and she was like, "But even your sneakers are flattered." She's like, "If this is you dressing down, what
Right.
are you?"
You're like,
You got the
Lord help
earrings
us.
And
popping,
I'm like,
you got the accessories going, it matches, you got some shoulders showing. Like, it's cute though. It's very cute.
but
Yes,
no, I definitely
yes.
have my days where it's like, and I feel like on the days where I am extra sassy or extra period at work, those are the days where I don't really feel like it because I know if I kind of put effort into it, it could change the way I feel
How
or
you
change how I walk
feel.
that day.
Yes.
Right. So
See, that's what people don't get. Like
yeah. So if I throw
you
in a
made
red
the
lip,
decision. Yes.
yes,
Then we
if you
know
see me
that
in a
the
red lip, that means I'm kind of struggling a little bit and I need to zhuzh it up.
As today, like we decided and then we only had 15 minutes and I was like,
we just
"Oh,
said
yeah. Yeah, let me put on a hat and some lips and I look put together."
So what are some like personal do you guys have any personal experiences where you might have judged something or somebody based on their appearance and then realize that the judgment was like inaccurate. Has that ever happened?
Mm,
Well, I think it happens unconsciously. It's a bias that we are always going to have, that when it's incongruent, right? Like if somebody is looking a mess, our minds can't grasp that they're not a mess. So we assume they're a mess. Now, it could be totally wrong.
yeah.
But
Mhm.
my whole thing is, as the person, why even create that extra effort for someone to have to
To
then be
figure
like, oh, they're actually not a right? Because
Mhm.
I feel like I try to deliver and I try to be intentional about reserving judgment, but it doesn't mean like the part of my mind that makes quick assessments isn't going to register like, oh, messy, a mess, no hygiene, no, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So, but I do know people, but you know what, Dion? Now that you ask that, I know very few people who just do whatever, look a mess, and don't have, doesn't mean they're not great people. Doesn't mean they're not smart people, but there's still something going on. There's a self-esteem, there's something, an undervaluing. Like I have yet to meet somebody, I'm not gonna say never, but very few people that literally look a mess and there's not something deeper going on with them.
Yeah,
mm,
that's true. Like that
I
person,
haven't. Hmm.
like that person in my professional
See?
circle. And
Hmm.
I've known this person for about, I mean, maybe since before COVID, so maybe like 2019.
Okay,
mhm.
so like
And we've
four.
had some conversations and I'm like, wow. Like everybody has stuff, but like this person's got stuff. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, do you even want to live? Do you even
That's deep.
like, and I've heard comments about, well, they can run a comb through the hair sometimes. Like it's really,
Mm. And
like
see, I don't
really
even let
bad.
my kids be in when you wake up, you take those pajamas off, you put something on. Definitely you're going to brush your teeth, wash your face.
Mhm.
If you took your shower last night, if it's summer, you're taking another shower because you probably were sweating.
Sweating in your
And
Yes.
sleep.
you will do something with you, whether it's you put a pin in a bun. Like no one's going to
Hmm.
be in this house looking a hot mess, smelling a hot mess.
Oh my
No.
gosh, that was my father. Oh my
Mm-mm.
gosh. On a Saturday, like listen, I was 17 years old. I finally had a Saturday off from my little part-time job. It was finals. I'm stressed. I'm like, I just want a nice lazy day. And he was like, it's 12 o'clock. When 11:59 came and you had your pajamas on.
It's
And
now
so,
afternoon.
right now with my kids, I will say the hygiene is non-negotiable.
Hmm.
So my son will be like, "Oh, do I have to take a shower today?" I'm like, "You just played a whole day of basketball camp yesterday. You just had a whole day of basketball camp. Yes, you're taking a shower." And sometimes, like, I'll stick my head in there and I'm like, "Armpits up." And he's like, "Mom." I'm like, "Nope," because I already know.
You like a drill sergeant.
I already know. I'm like, if you don't want me to do this, then you could do a good job. I help him brush his teeth. And he's 10 years old. And I'm like, let's work on the teeth, son. But
Hmm.
like we do have days where it's like a lazy day, or we call them a chill day. So my daughter would be like, "Mom, is today a chill day? And I'll let you sit around in your pajamas, but not before you go wash your face,
Do
brush
your
your teeth,
basics. Uh-huh.
tidy up your room, and then you can lay around." Like once in a while, we do have those kind of days because I realize
Yeah.
like we're not really going anywhere. Okay, but you're not going to be. I've even let her play outside when she hasn't gotten dressed. Like it'll just be like a
Yeah.
little tank top, and she wants to ride her
Yeah, I
scooter
let
or
them
something.
put that. I just
Yeah,
want them to know pajamas are, because then you start rolling
pajamas are
around
for the
on the
bedroom.
floor. Yeah. And then you want to
Yes.
put those on tonight. Like, no.
Or if
You
they
can
do
put
lay
your
around.
house clothes on, your sweatshirt or whatever.
Oh my gosh. And the one thing I had to do, I can say this. I had to tell hubby, like, please don't lay across his bed with them clothes on. I know you had a hard day at work.
Mm.
Can we like, and he was just like,
Yeah.
I'm like, mm-mm. And you worked in a prison.
Ooh, yeah. And you
Yeah.
know the germs that they have
So
and
now,
just the environment.
yeah. So during COVID, it was coming in through the back door where the laundry room is and literally changing his clothes down there. Cause I was like, you're not bringing nothing in here. You're definitely not laying across the bed, but you're not coming in the house with
Yeah.
all that. Yeah. So I mean, okay. I think
Now,
I think I can get with that though. Like the people who I see who don't seem to care as much about appearance are the ones with very deep rooted issues.
Now
I
there
think
are
I can.
people. I feel like there are people who put on a wonderful show though, and they look
Mm, yes.
amazing,
Mm-hmm.
and they are
Cold
crumbling
as
inside.
ice. Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Faking the funk.
right. And it's so there are like there are
The
levels to it.
opposite could, yeah,
The
like
opposite could be
just
true.
because you look good doesn't mean you feel
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
But usually if you don't, if you, not that look bad, but like for example, my uncle was telling me when he was alive that he had a good friend and he could always tell when that friend's wife was depressed because the heels of her feet were like literally like
Mm.
she hadn't put like, I forgot how he described it.
It looked like
And
the
it
desert.
wasn't um
Uh-oh.
Uh
Did we lose
oh. Where'd
Nicole?
Nicole? Where'd she go?
Oh, I wonder if she had.
herb. Hold on
Okay.
1 second. Let me tell my, because
Got it.
so it was like he was saying that her feet, it was literally, it was a sign of not taking care of yourself. Like, not that you have to, it's not even about spending money and going to get a pedicure or something. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
imagine how either, I don't know what it could cause because I'm like, you're not soaking your feet. Maybe you're not taking baths or showers, or maybe it's like an accumulation. But he literally was telling me he could tell.
Mm,
Mm.
mm-hmm.
And I was like, that's stuff. He told me that when I was like a teenager.
And I've watched videos, it was a while back, it was years ago, where they showed someone who wasn't moisturizing, just not moisturizing their feet.
Yeah.
And the skin started to crack and bleed, and it causes a whole infect. Like,
Wow. Oh my
so I'm like, you
God.
don't even care enough to put on some kind of moisturizer on your skin. Like,
Yeah.
it's
Some
that's
people
just
weren't,
sad.
and it's a sign, yeah, right? Like that kind of self-neglect, a lot of people weren't taught. Because think
Mm,
about when we always talk in the Voxer, like it's a lot of intentional things that we show our kids about grooming. Because they
Girl,
don't just wake up knowing, we're like literally standing there flossing their teeth,
step by
brushing, saying
step.
this.
Right.
Yes.
mhm,
So a lot of people I realize like never learned it. And then they might be ashamed. So maybe
Mhm.
Kofia, like when you were saying people don't even want to make themselves aware. It's just like, oh no, I don't care. Because it's almost
Yeah.
like at least I'm not failing at some, like if I say I don't care, it's not that I'm trying something and failing
And I
at it.
don't know how to do it. I really am.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And the what I'm hearing like from just people in general is that when people don't know something, they don't ask what it is.
Ooh,
Like
that is deep.
they were talking, it was talking about business though. It was talking about when you're giving a presentation or whatever, and you're talking to people and you use words that they don't understand. They don't stop and ask
Mm,
you like, what does that mean? So when
mm,
people see you all put together, like and if they didn't have that, they don't know what that looks like. They're not going to stop and say, well, how does she get that? Like they're not going to be comfortable enough to go up to a person and say, hey, like how do I get to this place? How do I take care of this part of my body? How do I take care of these things? And it's like that's what's keeping them from getting to where they want. And I'll speak for me. Like when I
mm-hmm,
was going through this whole transition, I realized there were so many things about being a woman that I really didn't fully grasp. And so I would be around my friends and we would come and have these conversations, and I would be like, "Oh my goodness, like I didn't even know like what a foundation was. I thought the foundation was the
mm,
skin stuff, but the foundation was
ah,
like
mhm,
the support that you wear under
yes,
like you wear a certain thing if you got
yes.
certain thing, you wear certain colors, and making sure you got a good bra, and just all these different little things that I was like, oh my God, I didn't I didn't know that that was even a thing.
Uh-huh,
And so
uh-huh.
once I started to get into it, I was very comfortable asking my friends, asking women that are around me, like, okay, well, when do I what do I need to do with this? How do I need to put this on? Like what makes this or whatever. And then I
mhm,
even start like, to be honest, I even started YouTubing some stuff like,
That's
okay, what's the
awesome.
best way to cleanse these parts? What is the best way
Mm,
to take care of that's when I got into like waxing and just different things. It
yes.
wasn't look
That's another topic.
different things that
Why was this
that
lady on TikTok showing her waxing her client? The
no,
client, you just saw the private part, you didn't see, but the legs was eagle,
I
and
saw a
boom.
video this morning like that,
no,
and this
why?
woman, you would have thought she was being tortured. I was like, "Oh my gosh, I can't even listen to it anymore." That's another okay. That's another topic.
It
It's
was
the
she was
Yeah.
screaming.
she was screaming.
No,
But
it
it
don't
must
hurt
have
that
been
bad.
antique because it's just boom. So she
Yeah.
probably was
And
in.
what kind of wax was she
It was
using?
her first time, but I tried it and I didn't care for it. But that's just me. That's
Maybe it was
another
a
Look,
person.
I
If it's
had one,
I've
the
had a
Arab lady, they be all up in your
all
wax.
in
She
the
listen,
was getting all
and then
that.
you gotta do the butterfly with your look.
yes. And
Put them
she
together.
was like, wait,
I'm
wait,
like,
wait.
get
She's like, well, she's like, I gotta get the lips.
it.
And she
I
was like,
said,
no, no, no,
Lord.
no. She was like, it's wax there. I gotta get it. And she howled. And it was
Yeah.
uncomfortable to listen to. I was like, oh my gosh. They didn't show anything. You just saw her face on the table. But
Yeah.
yeah. But so Kofi, thinking about what you said though, because we always talk about proximity, right? Or at least, like once you're in a
Mhm.
community or around people who are doing something or accustomed to a certain thing, does that rub off on you then? Or does it at least
100%.
does it intrigue your
Yes.
right?
Yes. But the thing is,
Because
you have to decide to not be intimidated and to understand
hmm
to be vulnerable enough to be open to growing. Because
right.
at
And that's
first
what's different about you.
Yes. And I think most people are intimidated or they're like put off or they reject or I don't care or whatever. And it's like the very person that can help you, you are somehow, you don't realize that you don't like them because they have something that you want.
That
And
Oh,
you
once
are
I
maybe
child.
and
afraid
once I
of.
learned that,
Yes.
when I learned that, I was like working at a job, and I don't know, it had to be a God revelation. There was this girl there. She was so pretty. She dressed nice. I mean, she smelled good. It was all that. And I was like, I don't like her. I don't like her. And then I had a moment. I felt like God was like, why don't you like her? And then I was reading books and stuff, and it was like, you really, the people that you truly don't like have something that you like or want. And I was just thinking,
hmm
Oh,
I was totally honest with
speech.
myself.
You're
Like,
triggered.
I
Yeah.
was like, oh my God, yeah, she's beautiful. I like the way she carries herself. She has a sense of confidence. I'm like, well, wait, if it can be for her, then it can be for me. And then once I realized
Mm.
that, like when people start to trigger me, I realized, oh, okay, well, what is it about them? Is it anything about them that I just like that I don't have? And
hmm
it made me more available to get what I wanted. But most people
That's a
don't for the most
word,
part.
Kofi.
Yeah.
Yes, that
hmm
is a word.
Because it's too
Everybody needs to
painful.
hear that. Yeah, yeah. But yes, it is. But it goes back to what we say. Like, at some point in life, we all have to take responsibility. Now, if we don't want to go through the pain, that's great. But we don't deserve to then shit on everybody else because
Mhm.
we're bitter. We don't like this.
right.
We don't,
Right.
like, no.
Yep, and that's
So,
exactly what I think, and that's why I'm like, I'm very careful when I feel like I'm being triggered, because I understand there's so much deeper than what it appears to be.
mhm.
But at the same time, I'm like, man, I've grown so much from people
hmm
that they have no idea. Like, they have no idea that I've learned from them, and it's like if you can, like, it's the possibilities are limitless if you are open to that.
hmm
Mhm.
Like, to
So
Mhm.
seeing
when
people.
right.
Mhm.
Something about our previous conversation about authenticity. So what I'm wondering or thinking out loud is a part of authenticity is also like how you appear.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
because that's an outward expression of who you are and
Yep.
but then it's also about tapping into like or making that connection with someone else who needs to see who you are or to bear witness to your brand. Like you could also be helping somebody else by showing up as your best self.
Mhm. Because they
Yeah.
Wow.
more attracted to who
They're
you
either going to
really
be
are.
attracted or triggered, right?
Right.
Ooh,
Ooh, that's good.
that's bars.
Yeah.
Are you attracted or triggered? And it's
Yeah.
all about
Oh,
you,
let me
baby.
jot that
And it's the
down.
same
I
Yes.
don't know.
that's the thing. it's the same like emotion. So it's not the same emotion, but it's the same process. The same
Mm-hmm.
process. You
Mhm.
see something and either you are attracted to it or you are triggered, meaning like you determine that you don't like it. Well, why don't you like it? It's because something about it
Exactly.
is attractive that you haven't identified.
Yes.
Potentially.
Not all. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes,
Potentially.
yeah.
Right.
But yeah, that's
Or
Because
really
you
that you
good.
could
get a
That's
not
relationship.
like something and not be triggered. It could be like, oh, I don't like it. But when it's like like, oh,
when
I
you're
can't.
really, yeah,
Yeah.
agitated. When something
Yeah,
is
agitated.
agitating, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. So what about like social media? Do you guys think social media has played a part in, you know, this
Hmm.
judging a book by its cover? Has it made us more judgmental or more critical of our own appearances or
That's a great question.
Yeah. I
Mhm.
think I think social media just highlights what is. But I think yeah, it can like push people to be what they to feel pressure to be what they're not. But I still believe
Hmm.
like it's all about the inner work. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know. It's I just feel like there's certain thing, and I've had to tell even some students. There was a student that I was helping with her thesis, and she came to the thing with like her boobs. It's not all about hygiene, but it's like knowing the time and the place. Mini
Mm,
skirt, cleavage, and I just
yes.
pulled her aside, like, you did really well. Not trying to say that you can never wear this outfit, but just think about the different settings. And I feel like I have decided over time to take more risks because I'm the kind of person who would tend to be quiet, mind my business. But I'm like, I cannot let a young Black woman come into the professional world and she ends up saying, nobody told me. Like, I'd
Hmm.
rather you be mad at me or whatever it is, because you are going to be judged with it, with this stuff. Like, I don't
Mhm.
care who gets online and tries to say that it is a judgment.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And that's
You
natural.
walk into you walk into a
Mhm.
boardroom with platform heels, a mini skirt, and your breasts out. No, you're not. Your message is not going to be heard the
Mhm.
way you want. You're sending a message, but I don't know if it's the one that you wanted.
Right.
Or
Right.
yeah. Yes.
But
And I love
social
that you
media is
said that.
making people think that that's okay. They're calling it be you or do you.
My truth. If I hear that one more time, that's another topic. I am so I think I'm triggered by that. I'm just like, what is okay? Anyway, but
I think. Oh, go ahead.
Nicole said, you can't. Basically, you were saying like you found it, like you you felt obligated
Mm.
to kind of pull her to the side and tell her. And as much as I hated that as a child, like I love that like my mom, my aunt, the ladies at my church, like they especially one of the mothers, she'd be like, "Come on over here, baby."
Yeah.
Mm.
She was like,
Yes.
she would say stuff, and I'd be like, "This lady don't know what she's talking about," but I get it now. She's like, she
What
said,
did she say?
she's like, I can kind of see through your, where's your slip? And then my mom's like, Dion, you didn't come to church with a slip, because do people even know what a slip is or a camisole?
I mean, I
Like,
No.
remember
oh
slips.
my
I
gosh.
remember them old ladies had the slips going past their dress. I'm like, girl, you did that wrong.
Really?
It was
Just the
No,
not supposed to
listen,
be
opposite. Look, you
it.
did it
That's
the
what-
opposite.
my mother had a slip drawer. It was camisoles, different colors. Yeah, she had her black, her white, her beige, different lengths. Some of them had a split in it. So if her skirt had a split, it would match up with the skirt.
Mhm.
But like, I'm like, I don't even think people realize I was talking to Tiana, Nicole, it was at your photo shoot,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and she was talking about she mentioned the word blouse in passing to somebody, and the person didn't they were like, "What's a blouse?" And I said, "Y'all don't know what a
What?
blouse?" She
What
was
are
like,
they
"No."
calling it? A
She just
button
called
up?
it a top or a shirt. And I'm like, "No, there's a shirt and
Mm.
there's a blouse." So like, why like I feel like we've come such a long way from kind of passing on that knowledge. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. And not that
because
it can't be updated or changed with the times, the
Yeah.
fashion, but
mhm,
it goes back to basics. Like,
Yeah.
take care of yourself. Care if you want people to see your underwear, that's great. But if you don't, not that it's great, but like, cool, that's you. But if you don't and you care about this is what you have to do.
Exposing your bottom, then put on some clothes that Right. Yeah, no. I 100%, I agree. I totally agree. I think part of that too, to speak to the woman that is pulling people aside, like I know you are kind and compassionate and your delivery is amazing. However, some of these people that have grown
Oh,
up pulling
child.
people aside are doing it in a nice, nasty way. And I think
Mm.
Hmm.
that's the part. It's like, you have to really have a genuine desire, a genuine care for it to be received. And if you go in it that way, then it's more likely to be received versus you just having information and you just want people to know that you're right, or you
I
want
Hmm.
people to
cannot
know that
stand
you
that.
acknowledge. Yeah, it's like, what does
Mm-hmm.
that mean? If you see me, don't expose me, educate me, or something like that. Like,
Mm.
if you see something I'm doing wrong, tell me, but tell me in a way like that, doesn't bash my whole not knowing.
Sense
Like,
of self. Yeah.
Right.
Like
right, like
you're
there has
nothing.
to be a level of ignorance in order for me to learn, but there's a way for you to deliver it without making my
Hmm.
ignorance the bad guy or whatever. So,
Yeah. I think it's a way to set somebody straight and then do it, you know, in love. Like, and that's what I
Yeah.
admire about like the older women. But sometimes my mom called me trifling. She was just like, there's a time, like, talk about time and place. And that's so our
She's like, I
conversation.
tried it the soft way, but you
So
right,
ain't
that's what I
listening.
was saying earlier. I had tried
pro-
it the soft way.
Mm.
And at some
progressive.
point, it's like, look,
Yeah.
you need to know that this is like you're just looking out of pocket. And I think sometimes we I think a lot of people today are very sensitive. Like we expect
Hmm.
everything to be delivered, but sometimes that's not always like medicine don't always taste good. You gotta be okay with that.
Right,
Like, yes, you have to consider the source. And I think that's part of it too, is me knowing like, okay, I know this person loves me or cares for me or has my best
right,
interest. But I'm like,
right.
I'm not always gonna have time to not coddle, but like it might not
But
always be.
see,
I
that's
don't know
where
about not having time though, but go ahead.
yeah, that part, that's what I was going to
Mhm,
say. Like, either you're going to, if you decide that the coddling isn't the right method, yes, I can see that. But if it's
mhm.
a matter of, well, look, I don't have time to sit there and I'm gonna just tell you,
Well,
like,
that was a figure of speech. That was
all right, look, Deanna's like, guys, settle down.
not literally.
Okay, well, I'm like, wait a
Okay,
minute.
look, sorry,
We
Deanna, we
understand.
like,
I'm trying
look,
to figure out what I meant. So what I meant was that at some point, I think there's a time to be straight and direct, and there's a time to be a little more soft in my delivery.
can you be soft and direct?
Yes, but
Are they two opposite ends of the?
not necessarily, but sometimes you can turn the softness up or down because I feel like some people aren't always receptive to the message. The same way people aren't always receptive to the message when it's hard. Some people don't hear it because of the over softness. It depends on how it's delivered. Like I know I've had to get some tough love, like, and it didn't feel good. Like, yeah, it was ouchy, but then I also appreciated it later on.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
'Cause my
trying to think
aunt
if
I
I.
think about my aunt. My aunt would lay you out, and it was hard. It was very hard, but then afterwards, she would explain, "This is why I did it,"
Yeah.
and I was okay with it. Maybe I just have tougher skin. Maybe that's just me.
I think it's no, but that's a good point. Maybe that's part of you reading the room because I've never been receptive to anyone being hard or harsh to me. Now, I've been
Mhm,
receptive to truthfulness, honesty, clarity. I've never been receptive to a hard delivery, but that could just be
mhm.
me. But like, probably if you're going to use a hard delivery, you would have the perception, emotional intelligence to know who and when to use it with.
Right. Now, if
But
it's
I
just
hear
some
you
random
saying, yeah,
person, mm-mm.
coming up off
But
the
it
street.
depends on my relationship with the
Yeah.
person.
Hmm.
And then, my mom had that same conversation with me about like how when you walk out the house, how do you want to be, what message are you sending? And then I had older brothers who be like, I could tell you right now what we talk about when we see a woman
Mm.
dressed that way. Or my dad
With
would,
her butt cheeks out. Hmm.
right. Not that I was ever like overly exposed.
Yeah, I was out.
Right. And then it's like,
Like, what do you think? Yeah.
I had to learn that sexiness wasn't just about the outfit. Like I could be sexy and covered, and still not be showing all the things. Like maybe
Yeah.
that's another conversation too.
Let me write that down.
Right. Yes, we like to jot down topic ideas.
But that happens too a lot, like in the Muslim community. It's always some woman at the mosque that got to tell you this part of your ear is showing your neck. Why? And it's
Your
just like,
ear
okay,
and your neck.
grandma. Like
Wow.
there's whole varying opinions, but
Mhm.
like again, like you said, delivery, because you could be nice, nasty. So it could
Yeah.
be like trying to say it nice, but to me, I'm very perceptive to passive aggressive. So
Mhm.
it's not only your tone, I could feel the whole thing. It's the energy. Like, okay, so you took time to walk all the way from over there to over here to tell me and to say it in a way,
And
that
my
nice,
ear is
nasty.
showing.
Yes, like, oh, I
Right.
just, the whole thing. So yeah,
But
I totally
see,
get you with that too.
is that passive aggressiveness or is that the soft and what did you soft and strong or soft and hard? What did we just say a
No,
minute
that's
ago?
passive
Soft and strong.
aggressive.
No,
Like
to me,
passive.
the difference is, yeah.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
It's obvious. Like the passive
Passive aggressive
aggressive.
is when you're an ice queen trying to smile and
Yes.
pretend
Not an
you're
ice
not
queen.
mad. Yeah,
Yes.
So,
right?
and
Yes.
this is not even related to judging a book by its cover. But I remember saying to someone I love, I said the word sweetie because I call everybody sweetie. My kids, my siblings, my husband, my cousins, anybody.
Uh-huh.
That's how I
Your
but then
pet
it was
name.
like don't call me sweetie. And I was like, I was trying to teach the person something. And that's I just and in
Because
hindsight,
it's
I was like,
condescending. Like if you're
Yes.
trying to teach somebody something, it's kind of to say it puts them on a lower. Now, sweetie, what I want to tell you is you turn the computer on, sweetie, and then like
I didn't
I'm
even
not,
do it.
but like, why are you teaching?
Yeah.
That's what you do to
Because
kindergartners, right? Sweeties, now open your
Yeah.
I
No.
don't
copybook and
I
write
don't
down the
I
ABCs.
But I was like,
Yeah.
and I had to like sincerely apologize. I was like,
For
hands up,
real, you
like
were like,
I did not. I was like, I am so sorry. That is not what I meant. And then it kind of went,
sweetie,
I
I
had to,
am so sorry.
I didn't say sweetie, but I was just
No, I
like,
know.
I talk like this all my life. And it genuinely is not coming from a bad place. So I'm
I
Yeah,
don't
like,
think I've ever
yeah.
heard you call me sweetie.
Me neither. You ain't never called me sweetie.
I don't know. I can't recall every conversation we've had over the
Now
past
I
few
feel
years.
left out.
No, I'm like, yeah, right.
I'm sorry, baby. I'm sorry, sweet. So
No,
the woman,
sweetie. There we go.
so the woman at my church when she was like, "Come here, baby," like I didn't take offense to that. I probably took offense that she was trying to correct me on my attire, but I didn't say who's
But
she
the
calling
old
baby.
church lady saying, it's how you say, it's the
But that's
whole
how I grew
thing.
up. So
Yes.
I'm
Okay,
using
so I see what you,
sweetie
yes.
this in the same way. But I was just like, I think that person was triggered. That in that
Yes,
particular,
yes, yes,
Right.
yeah,
yes.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yes. No, totally, totally. And again, we're not responsible. We can't tiptoe around and know everybody's personal history, how to say
Hmm.
something. But I just feel like we have to check our intentions. Like if I'm
Right.
not respecting someone, even if I'm not aware of it, I might be more likely to use
It's going to
certain
come across that
freight.
way.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. And so I can tell, I believe in a lot of instances when somebody else is doing that to me. So if it's like, baby, now let me tell you, versus a more,
I
the
wasn't
kind
like,
of
"Oh,
biting.
sweetie, let me tell." I didn't. I wasn't.
There's
It was.
some that are biting, like,
Mhm.
sweetie, let me
Mhm.
tell you something. If you
Mhm.
walk in here one more time with,
What is it?
I don't know, like you could be calm but passive. How is it too many categories, y'all?
No,
It's
I mean,
so
Calm
check
but
your
passive
your
aggressive.
intention and your
that's what
Yes.
you have to
feeling.
do. Yes.
Yeah, I think that's first and
Deep at
foremost.
the core, like, do I respect this person?
Mhm.
Like, because the way that like, if you don't respect them, there's a lot of things that's going to come out in the way that you communicate that you are not aware of.
Mhm.
It's going to
Mhm.
be so at a deep level that you just, like, if you look at all the people you disrespect, you'll see a commonality in the way that you communicate.
Ooh,
And
child.
and
Mhm.
so it's just knowing and being honest, like, okay, I really don't like you. I really don't respect you. So yeah, there's some there's
Let's
something
cut to the
about it.
chase.
Right. Like the way I talk to you is not even gonna be the same as if I talk to a person that I truly respect. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that comes across and people don't realize it comes across. Like it's
Yes.
almost seeping out of our pores when we don't respect or we really don't care. Like, so
Yeah.
that's what I think.
Good stuff.
Wow.
Good.
So we
Now,
all gonna be over here like, wait, did I say honey child? Did I say
I know,
sweetie? Did I?
Right.
and I think that's that time, place, and tone that Nicole always talks about.
Hmm.
Like, maybe I need to check in with myself. I'm thinking out loud first because it's not always, the right time and
You know
place,
who can
and
tell
that's
you
going to affect my
tone
tone.
real? Yes,
Hmm.
kids, because they have the innate instinct to understand. Like my kids can come in and know from my face, Mommy, is everything okay? Are you mad at us? Or
Mhm.
can we do this? They can sense
Yeah.
openness and safety versus
Not.
blocked and yes.
Hmm.
And just ask the kids, say something. We can use our kids as test samples. Say
Listen,
The
something
guinea
and
they'll
ask
pigs.
it and check off. All right, was this said this way or that? And they'll tell you.
Hmm.
my kids have walked in the room and been like, okay, no, not never
Let me
mind.
watch. Let
My
me put
kids
them
have
on my
no
Don't
child.
ask her today. Don't ask her
I'm
today.
sorry. My kids must be a special breed. They are. I have to tell them
read the
to kind of.
room.
Do you see, mommy? Do you see how I'm sitting? Do you, you know?
Can you
But
pick it up?
my baby girl is just like, mom. Blah, blah, blah. Like there's no kind of radar. But the
Mm,
one thing I do agree that kids understand sarcasm. I am really big on not. Maybe this turned into a communications episode
Yes.
about using, like, someone recently used sarcasm with my child, and I had to be like, nope,
Oh
we
yeah,
not.
you were telling us.
You
Yes.
don't do that. And I've asked her previously, when so and so says this to you or said this to you, how did you feel? She was like, well, it was okay. I didn't really like. They know how words or your delivery makes them feel.
mhm.
They're
Yes.
very, very, like, in tune with that. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
glad
good.
you
And it's
asked her. That was awesome.
yeah, and it's just not fair. Like a child,
Yeah.
because they're taught to respect adults.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So then it's like, I have to go back to teaching them, like, you can defend yourself and speak up for yourself without being disrespectful back. You can say, I really don't like this. Can you not? Like, there's a way to ask someone to, because they feel like they
Yeah.
just have to take him. Like, you're nobody's verbal punching bag,
yeah.
you know? Yep.
Hmm. This was good. This was
I
good.
did. It went
Very,
in
very
all
good.
All
directions.
kind
So
of
I
I'm
know.
like,
yes.
can we talk about?
So maybe
So
we
your
can do,
communication, yeah, is a form
hmm
of how your outer
Come on.
presentation.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
how you
Mhm.
present. It communicates how you're feeling or how you feel about yourself or what message you're trying to convey. Now, maybe we can do a separate episode on, like, what's your personal style? How do you dress? I don't
Hmm.
know.
For different.
Do you want to get into body types or
Ooh,
color?
yes.
What's your
Definitely.
color?
Definitely. I
Yeah.
think that's huge. And that's huge. Because
Mhm.
I was like, ma'am, I don't know what to dress, how to dress. She was like, it's okay,
Ooh.
I got you.
Oh,
Oh,
I know. But
I
I paid
love
her.
the
that.
Now, let
more
me tell you,
color,
I
the
paid
Okay.
better.
You
her.
were
She's
like it was.
a paid coach to help me with my style.
Yes,
And I was like,
I
Yeah.
okay,
love
I can
it.
do this.
The more color, the better. I love color. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Put me in
Yeah.
an orange and a purple and a yellow,
Yellow is your
gold. Like,
color.
yeah, yeah. I've embraced yellow.
Well, guys, thank you so much for this amazing conversation. It's
I
been
loved
really,
it.
really dope.
Yes.
Dion,
Okay.
you
We'll
want to
see you guys next time.
Ciao.
bye? Ciao for now.
Bye.